Today is senior day. You have to dress up for senior day. You come in. We got 3 seniors, 2 players, and Amy, one of the managers, out here today. I have the gold vest and then a red tie, so I make it in Maryland colors now. Black and white, gold and red. So just, you know, something to do, make it a little more special for them.
Two things that happen with seniors is I spend a lot of time, you know, in the spring semester getting them prepared for the future. A focus in terms of getting their resume ready and talking through what they want to do. And, you know, we spend that senior year kind of getting their minds wrapped around that. And then, you know, for the actual senior day, all right, senior day. I have learned throughout the years not to make it an emotional speech. It's always a great time when we get to this moment of the year. And, you know, that's what senior day is supposed to be about. Happiness, not tears. With women, it's not a good thing in terms of being able to flip that switch to be able to play. I try to keep it just more balanced so they're going to be able to play well in the game. You know, somewhere in my speech, you know, I obviously, you know, talk about our seniors and what they've meant to our program. Individually, Caitlin, you know, not often do people get to have 2 senior days.
Senior day for basketball will be different for me because it's less so about playing for me and it's more so about just being part of the team. I remember when I was being recruited for volleyball when I was in high school, even though we have our own gym upstairs, my coach thought that Comcast was like signified Maryland pride, and it's a huge stadium and fun to play in. So he takes all his recruits up in the bleachers, and we were able to look down, and that moment just really stood out in my mind because I've come full circle and I've actually had the experience of playing here and realizing what he was talking about. So that was cool.
You know, not many players get to have 2 senior nights. You know, she gets to have one, obviously, in the main sport that she came here to Maryland for was volleyball, but then to have another senior night here with basketball. And, you know, credit her, you know, to be able to make the sacrifices that she did with our team coming in January. You know, a lot of seniors would want to go enjoy their time and their spring and their light load that they've created in their last semester. And it says a lot about you in terms of when you get ready to graduate here from Maryland, what you're going to go and accomplish. It takes a selfless person to do that, and we thank you.
It's weird because I've never really seen her play basketball. I know she played in high school, but I've only ever seen her play volleyball, so it's definitely a cool experience. She's doing great, and the fans love her, so it's awesome for her.
Tiana, you know, our staff, man, when you look back at your career and you
being a senior means to me, you know, you're closing a chapter in your life and, you know, going on to open a new one. 4 years ago, when I showed up to, you know, University of Maryland, I was a very shy person. I was very soft-spoken. I really kept to myself. I barely spoke. I was in like a big shell.
And you think about, you know, that freshman who came in, all right, in essence, you know, you can relate with us.
One of the major obstacles that no one really, that people rarely know about is that me and Essence, we wasn't really, you know, as close as we are now. And, you know, we had to go through a whole season where we, you know, didn't like each other. We weren't close because it stemmed from an AAU little altercation. You know, her teammate got into it with my teammate, and then I got into it, and Essence got into it. So it was like a domino effect.
So from there, I never thought I would ever see her again. Better yet, even come on an official visit with her. So when we come on our visit, I'm like, she looks familiar.
I'm like, Essence looks so familiar. I'm trying to figure out who this girl is. And I'm like, oh, I remember that's the girl that, you know, tried to, you know, say something to our teammate. And then I was like, I can't stand her.
And in practice, we would just like fight each other purposely, like do spiteful things to one another.
We would have our little battles, you know, when we, you know, give an extra shove, you know, do an extra, you know, aggressive box out or something like that.
It was so petty to the point where I wanted a shower in the locker room and she wanted the same shower, and I would rush after practice and go get in the shower before her.
You know, I finally had my breaking point. I had told our staff I was tired of watching it. I decided I was going to put the 2 of them together, and I was going to make them communicate, and I was going to be the mediator.
So then I didn't say anything, and then Essence off the break was like, I don't like Tiana, and I was like, I don't like Essence, and then she was like, well, what happened? So then we told her about the issue from back in our AAU days, and she just looked at us like, are you serious?
After a while, you thought about it, like, is it really that important? Like, because our lockers was right next to each other too, so I had to like see her every day. So let's just end it, and that was that. So that's how I looked at it and moved on from it.
Feel kind of proud to be able to be the one to kind of, get them to understand one another. Tiana and Essence, it's awesome to watch when two people come full circle. Absolutely. They can finish each other's sentences. They room together. They know how to poke fun at one another, get under each other's skin. But, I mean, they're the best friends. I mean, when you see their interaction, they're going to have that relationship and that dynamic for the rest of their lives. And, really special to be able to see in the course of 4 years that bond, how they grew together. Kind of a insecure, quiet, out of shape little girl that came in as a freshman. Oh man, life was difficult. I came in as an introvert, very quiet, hardly ever spoke, never knew what was going through her mind, and practices were difficult. Conditioning started out in the preseason. I remember a lot of moments her breaking down, in practices, wanting to quit, crying. Amazing to be able to see the transformation for Tiana from her freshman year all the way to now. The thing that you showed all of us is that in your 4 years, you were never going to be satisfied. It takes great discipline to do what you did. And in 4 years, you showed all of us that all you did was continue to work behind the scenes. And I think the lesson for all of us to be able to take from Tiana's situation is that in your life, when you get ready to graduate from here, you should never be satisfied with where you're at in life. You should always be challenging yourself to get better. You should always want to be the best. So when you look back in a career, in your life, 4 years, 5 years, you should always be challenging yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, in terms of how much better can you be in life. Because when you continue to do that, even into your adult years, you're going to continue to have success, and that's why I know the two of you are going to be very successful. Caitlin, go get Tiana.
I've gotten to know some awesome people, made friends hopefully for a lifetime.
Look at the volleyball girls. Look at the volleyball girls. Look at the volleyball girls.
Well, you want to take a picture?
Look at the volleyball girls.
And I have 2 sets of teammates, which that teammate bond is a special thing, and I have 2 different teams with that, so I'm lucky.
Just seeing Caitlin in a different element, it was just awesome. See her being accepted into the basketball team and knowing her in the volleyball team, it's just awesome.
I mean, it's all of you guys and you guys that have made this possible. I've never felt as welcomed and loved. You guys, oh my gosh, you're an awesome team, and just thank you very much. I'm gonna stop.
I'm really happy for Tiana. I know she's going to go on and do wonderful things with the rest of her life. Just 4 years ago, we just literally hated each other. Now look at us, we look out for one another. So she's like a sister to me, I guess. I just can't wait to see what the great things she's going to do with the rest of her life.
Amy Top is one of our managers, a senior manager for us, and actually came into the program. This was her first year and only year, and will graduate here in May. So she's been behind the scenes, really helping with, some of the team travel and the meals, and great attitude, positive, a lot of energy, and is going to be very successful in life. Amy, has the special gift of reciting all the verses of the Bible.
Here we go. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
And, shocked all of us when she went through every single book, and had it all memorized from a very young age.
2 and 3, Jude and Revelation.
Here's the thing about the way Coach Freeze goes about doing her business and conducting her program in such a first-class manner. It's a culture. The upperclassmen lead, and when new kids come in and freshmen come in, they just assimilate right into that. And it's a true testament to being a great leader and being a great teacher. And that's what Brenda does, and she does it effortlessly. It doesn't look like it requires any sweat or any extra hard work.
Ball pressure, ball pressure.
But I know that people don't know how much time she puts in when nobody's watching. She's got it going, and she's got a great program, and she deserves all the honors that come her way.
Good, let's go.
It's certainly well-deserved. This was one of the best coaching jobs of her career, given the injuries she's had to deal with and the illnesses she's had to deal with. We know that Brene Mosley out for the season, Lauren Mincy out for most of the season. They lost Essence Townsend. Tierney Fearman has been out for a month and is not going to play in this tournament. Honestly, I thought about it and can't recall one team suffering so many injuries, especially to key players. I mean, when you lose your entire backcourt and you're still in contention for the ACC title the entire season, I mean, that's just a really good job by Brenda and her staff to make sure the team stays focused, don't get down on themselves, and keep competing night in and night out in one of the toughest conferences in the country.
I don't think you can explain injury. I think you have to, as a coach, you have to prepare the next player. And you need to be preparing the next player in October. And because of the way Brenda runs her offensive development system with her staff, they have another player that's ready. Not everybody can say that, but it's a true testament to validate how she goes about conducting her business and how she runs her program.
That's what I'm talking about. Great job.
I just have one thing to say.
Ice pass for everyone.
You know, anytime individual accolades come, those don't happen unless you have tremendous team success. And to me, the Coach of the Year award is special because it defines this team, and it defines our staff, and it defines all the people in our program who work tirelessly behind the scenes. And that's what Coach of the Year means to me, is just a huge award for this team and this program.
I could stay here all day and talk about Alyssa Thomas. I think she is that talented. She's the most powerful player in the women's game. No one can make plays on balance. The playmaking, the shot-making ability that she has, there's no one else that can do it. And to be back-to-back ACC Player of the Year and to get it as a sophomore is a true testament. And this is the other thing I love about Alyssa. In the beginning of the year, when she was forced to have to handle the ball more, teams trapped her on a lot of on-ball stuff, and she turned it over. You don't see her doing that anymore. She's worked at it, and because her skill set is so complete, if you trap her now, she's going to make you pay.
Look at her numbers with almost no help around her. She's normally a forward. She's had to handle the ball much more this year. She was second in the conference in assists behind Chelsea Gray. She was third in scoring, first in rebounding. I mean, she can do it all. She's such a powerful player. She can get to the hoop. She finishes, and she's a really, really complete player. And in my mind, she's the best player in the conference.
In the history of Maryland, to have our first back-to-back ACC Player of the Year obviously is extremely special, and she's only a junior. So again, you just talk about her versatility and what you're able to watch every single time she steps out on the floor.
Folks, Kevin, James, and Nick. And Mark, Jason, and Eddie.
Nice.
I'm Eli Osterloh, Assistant Director of Bands, and this is the University of Maryland Pep Band, here to cheer on the Lady Terps at the Women's ACC Basketball Tournament here in Greensboro, North Carolina. They say you can't have two bands in the same house without a competition, and that goes pretty true down here. We like to say for football, we've never lost halftime, and so far for Pep Band, we've never lost a game with the band, so I'm proud of that.
30?
30 of us.
30.
Yeah, so it's not the entire band, but
So 30 and 13 cheerleaders.
it's definitely an interesting experience. I mean, it's more exciting to play at a different arena than our standard, place at home, but yeah, so it should be fun.
Down here is real cool. It's no hurry. It's just, drove down through Virginia, North Carolina, got to see some nice, rustic scenery on the side of the road. It was really cool. You know, let the anticipation for the game kind of brew within you.
It's a great organization, like representing the school in different areas, so it's a great experience. It's a privilege. It's my first time, so I'm actually excited to see it.
Let's go, Maryland! 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 Let's go, Maryland!
I've worked with several years every time they come down here for the ACC, so I've been on the motor since '06 and have enjoyed it the whole time. I mean, they're all really good. We've had some interesting situations where people, you know, cut between the buses and the motor officers, but other than that, they've all been great.
All right, all season long, we've gotten to define ourselves in this locker room because of our resiliency, have we not? Every time this team has faced adversity, we've gotten better, stronger, and even more locked in as a team. That's why you got to understand, you got to be excited because this game comes down to resiliency. All right, when you come into the tournament, the team that is the most resilient team for 40 minutes is going to be the team that advances.
You know, they came out hot, and, you know, the game's about runs, and they were at that point were having their runs, so we just had to find a way to slow them down.
They was feeling it. They was hitting shots back to back to back, and they was just feeling it.
Wake's guards just came out on fire. They were making a lot of shots, you know, able to get into the lane and you know, really made it difficult on our defense.
We knew all along that this was our game and that we were, like, this was our game. So we didn't have any doubts in our mind that we were going to lose. It was just a matter of getting back and making the comeback.
Liz is a great player, and I enjoy playing with her. Her energy, her confidence, her swag, and everything. It's just, you feed off that. So I think by her talking to us, her walking with that swag, I mean, boosts a lot of our confidence up tonight.
You know, a performance tonight that, you know, we all got to, you know, watch history. I mean, nobody in ACC history has had a triple-double in the tournament. You know, obviously, it continues to show what makes her the two-time ACC Player of the Year. Whatever this team needs, you know, she, you know, rebounded, led the break. You know, we're able to set up her teammates with great passes, and obviously put the ball in the basket for us.
She knows how to take over, and she knows when to pass, when to shoot. She knows when people are coming at her, and she's just good to play with. She's very humble, and she's not gonna be like some players like that could make themselves a superstar, but she's not gonna do that.
I definitely did not know I was the first person to ever get a triple-double, and just, you know, that's a huge credit to my teammates for coming out and knocking down shots.
Our freshmen were big for us tonight, and they didn't come into the tournament to act like freshmen. They came in to contribute and make their mark, and I thought both of them played so hard with an extreme amount of confidence. I thought Chloe came out and set the tone with her ability to shoot the ball.
Oh, I like holding my follow-through to let people know I made that shot. We call it a Monica. If you've ever seen Love and Basketball, Monica, the main character, when she shoots a three, she holds it. But fortunately for me, she got benched but luckily Coach Freeze doesn't bench me when I hold my follow-through.
Melina had a late big three for us going down the stretch, didn't even hesitate, and that's what continues to make us so dangerous when we have so many players that are playing so confidently.
Yeah, that's what we need from our freshmen, just the confidence to step in and hit big shots when we're down. It just shows the growth that they've had this year.
Your final score, Maryland 92, Wake Forest
81. Hey, welcome to March Madness! Hey, did we not say, that it was going to be a team that it was going to take to be resilient? Thought you did a heck of a job. I mean, there were a lot of plays in that game. A lot of plays, 45 minutes of toughness. 45 minutes of toughness, and I think, we're never out of a game. Tremendous, tremendous job staying locked in a game that had a lot of adversity. First triple-double in ACC history. Those things don't happen. Those things don't happen unless you got great teammates knocking down shots to be able to get assists. Those things don't happen unless you get great screens and people making plays for each other. And that's what you got to understand, all right?
I'm not ready to go home, and I know my team not ready to go home. So, I mean, if I got to yell, scream, jump, run, roll my ankle because I'm cheering so hard, I'll do that for my team. And tonight was just a happy night.
Definitely a game of two different halves. I mean, I thought we were able to, really get going with our defense and rebounding. I thought we did a great job in transition and really attacking them and being aggressive. I thought the second half, they were a lot more aggressive, and whether that was fatigue or them just being a lot more physical. Disappointed, obviously, that we weren't able to finish this game out. When you're sitting in the waiting area to be able to go to the media, it's kind of a time that nobody wants to be there. You just lost. You want to go get your interviews knocked out and go take care of the next step. So it's all part of it, though. It's part of what you do, and you just get used to it.